Hello.
Hello? Oh, hi, Mr. Piano.
Yes, Amelia, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. I found this new piece that I want to learn.
This
Yeah,
piece is
sounds
for a
good.
student who feels comfortable counting out loud while playing, feels comfortable playing the hands together, and this piece will strengthen coordination between the hands. So we'll start by playing the hands separately, and then once we feel comfortable, we'll play both hands together. Thumbs are shared on F.
Hmm.
Let's start with the left hand. We're going to put our left hand third finger on middle C. Go ahead and play middle C with your third finger. And then play finger 4 adjusted to B flat. And 5 on A. So that's 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to mark this in the score. So again, that's finger 3. Steps down to finger 4 on B flat. And 5 on A. Let's go ahead and play those 3 notes. Yeah, and don't worry about the rhythm just yet. We'll get there. Next part. We're going to have our second finger on E flat. Then we skip down to middle C, finger 3, skip back up to 2, 1 on F. So go ahead and play that phrase right here, just a couple times. And maybe even experiment with this hand position as compared to maybe an A minor hand position. The fingers are right next to each other. But here we have a half step, a whole step, a minor third, and a major second. So a whole step. Maybe just play those notes back and forth from the fifth finger all the way to the first finger.
Sounds kind of cool.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like to experiment with it. How about we look at the rhythm of the left hand, yeah?
Okay.
I think that's a good idea. So how I count this is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and then it repeats back to the beginning and you can loop it.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Yes, take a breath where necessary. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of counting.
2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So there's a lot of entrances on the and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you can just keep looping it.
Like it's a good rhythm.
It is a
Like a
good.
good groove.
It's
Yeah.
a good groove, and I'm glad you mentioned that word. And maybe you hear
Mm-hmm.
it and you feel anxious, or maybe you hear it and you feel excited that you get to answer the phone. Maybe you hear it and you don't feel excited. Let's go ahead and rest the left hand, and we're going to look at our right hand position. I like to put finger 4 on B flat. If you feel that 3 is comfortable, you can play that one as well. But we'll look at it as separate phrases. The first phrase we'll look at is the first 3 notes. And we'll use fingers 5, 4, 2. we'll break it up into another phrase, two-note slur, two-note slur, and two-note slur. And before we practice all the way through, let's go ahead and put space in between each two-note slur.
It's a lot easier when we break it up.
Yeah, it is. We can also look at it like this. I can put boxes around it.
Oh, I like that. Like they got their own little room.
They have their own room, yes. And here, this one's different. All right? This one's different because we have G, which repeats. And then repeating finger 5 on C, play 5, 4, 2. So we're going back down, just in a different rhythm. Now let's play it as written.
I'll try the notes. I'll do it without counting first, and then
Okay.
we'll see if we got it right with the counting. Okay. It's that rest in the middle.
Yeah, the rest in the middle. Well, how do we count that from the beginning? I would count this as 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And it's a very relaxed counting, right? Pick a color.
Blue.
Blue. These two line up. These two phrases, meaning left hand and right hand. 4 notes, but 2 phrases. Let's put those together first. Yeah. Interesting.
That's not too bad. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the color. The lines that help.
I think that helps, right?
I think that's helpful, yeah.
To see when they align.
Oh yeah, that's helpful. I like
Yeah,
that.
so when we put the hands together, there's C and C together, an octave, middle C with left hand third finger, and then the C above that with the fifth finger, and then a fifth between B flat and F, and then nice.
I like the harmonies when they line up.
Miss Amelia, do you want to go ahead and count and play the left hand at the same time?
Just the left hand rhythm.
Yes, just the left hand.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1.
Yeah. Now let's try counting out loud with the right hand.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Oh, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
Yeah, so let's write in the counts there on the second measure.
That would be very helpful.
1 and 2 and then 3 is here. and 4 and. So that rhythm is rest, 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 and 3 and 4 and, sounding like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
Exactly. So let's start at the beginning again. And what we're going to do is count out loud and play. 1, 2, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And you can repeat this as many times as it takes to feel comfortable.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1. Whoa, it's the repeated C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 E, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4
So we have
and 1
and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We can take our time with that. What you can also do is tap the rhythm in the left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Almost.
3 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1. I can't hold on, let me do it.
So
It's like messing with my brain.
4.
Okay. I know. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1.
Yeah, and
Hold
4
on.
and
I'm messing up that part.
and
1
4
and
and
2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1. 4. Hold on. Why do I keep messing up that part? Let me check that out.
yeah,
1
so
and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Oh, I see why. I don't want to say the and after the 4.
yeah, sometimes we forget to say the and after the 4 because we're so worried about 1.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1
Yes, and
and
it's
2
accurate.
and 3 1. There we go. Okay, we got the 1
Okay.
or the and. It's like messing with my brain now. Okay.
It's becoming satiated. Semantic satiation is another thing where if you say something so many times, it starts to lose its meaning. Like say
Oh, like you
like say
that sounds
iPhone 100 times, and then all of a sudden, and I have to like reorganize my brain to get back. Okay, semantic satiation is a psychological phenomenon in which repetition causes a word or a phrase to temporarily lose its meaning for the listener. Example of semantic satiation: take any word, say chimney. Say it repeatedly in a rapid succession, and within some seconds, the word loses its meaning. This loss is referred to as semantic satiation.
Wow, that's really interesting. That's so true, though. If I repeat a word over and over, it sounds like weird, like it's not a word,
Yeah.
you know?
It's just a sequence of syllables and consonants and rhythmic patterns. Kind of like this. If you play it too many times, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I need to zoom out. Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's loose too. Okay.
Lucid, right? We have to make our brain relaxed. So let's try both hands together. Do you think we should count first or just play the notes?
If we're doing hands together, feeling the coordination is important. So I
Yeah.
think it depends on the level of the student. So for example, when they're learning coordination, just learning what it feels like to pair certain fingers together in small chunks like that. So first chunking it hands together, just feeling what they like are together. And then final would be trying to put it together and count slowly.
So now let's try playing the hands together, focusing on the notes that line up between the hands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to the downbeat. Yeah, so when we repeat it, just go to the downbeat. Unless you'd like to repeat it again, feel free to do so. Nice job. If you're having trouble coordinating the hands, you can go back to what we were doing earlier, where we tapped the rhythm in the left hand and played the written rhythm in the right hand. And similarly for the right hand, tapping the rhythm while the left hand plays. We'll try that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. This is super helpful in strengthening the coordination between the hands. So now let's try it again, hands together. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and sometimes it's super confusing in that second measure to get 1 and 2 and is the entrance. So the and of 2 is where we enter that third. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we can repeat that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
Yeah, exactly.
And 2.
Why don't we start on that second measure? It's kind of an unorthodox measure to start on. Steve Jobs would be proud. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 stop. So I started on that second measure and I looped it and I ended on the downbeat. Well, why don't we try playing this a little faster? Now that we've mastered that, maybe we can add a metronome. I think it's around the same tempo we were just at. This is on the quarter note, okay? 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and okay.
Should I do it for yours or what mine? Because there's a lag.
Oh, there is a lag. You do yours.
Can you hear that? Can you hear it?
Pro Metronome. It's a great app.
Metronome, yeah. Mine is, yep, Pro Metronome.
Nice job. And let's go ahead and honor that there are rests in the first 1.5 beats. So we won't play on those. We'll lift on beat 1. And I think in the actual iPhone recording, the right hand is an octave higher. So it's more like up here. what's the actual tempo of an iPhone recording? I feel like the articulation is different too. When I hear that, it sounds more staccato at the beginning, like the first three are staccato, right?
Oh yeah.
So maybe let's try it first at 120, see if we can get it up to tempo. So we were at 72. 120 is kind of a big jump. If you want to take this tempo and if you want to take your starting tempo, maybe it's 72, maybe it's slower, that's fine. And incrementally by units of 1 or 2, you can make it faster with each repetition. So we were at 72. I think Miss Amelia can play it at 92. Let's do 10.
92.
Yeah, and I think what they're doing in the recording is they're making the G, the first G, staccato. So just like that.
Oh. So like the first one? Da-da-da. So the first G for each repetition.
Yes. Okay, so now we're at 92. Let's take it to, my next is 104, I think, but you can do 102.
Okay.
Good. And another method to practice the coordination is hands crossed. Yeah, so what we would do is cross the right hand. We would basically change the octave. So we would take the right hand down an octave and the left hand up an octave. But
yeah, so it's crossed like this essentially.
Yes, left hand over right or right hand over left, whichever is comfortable for you. I'm doing right hand under left. And slowly it's etc.
Whoa. Wait, I've never done that before. It's like a puzzle in a way.
I mean, for small sections, for example, like this 4-bar section, it works. In some spots, it's going to be tricky because the hands will overlap. And then you might find that you might have memory slips like I did in my left hand. And that shows me that, I need to study the left hand just a bit more there. So that's good. And in this spot, same thing. We might need to study the left hand or vice versa, the right hand a little bit more. To play this at the same time, hands crossed. If you have the right hand underneath the left hand, see if you can switch it and see if you can put the right hand over the left. Maybe it's different. Maybe you might find that it's more even on one side.
That's interesting. Ooh, yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, that one's different.
And I think the distance between the minor third, the descending minor third from 2 on E flat to 3 on C, something about that can be a little confusing, especially because we have to go, whereas the right hand repeats a note. And if you have a creative way of playing this, go ahead and do so. What would this sound like in minor? We have to make the third scale degree flat, so that would be A flat. I don't know how I feel about that.
Ooh, that's so sad. So now then our hand position. This is what our hand position looks like. Thumbs are shared on F.
It's weird repeating the thumbs going down, though. But with A flat, it would be this.
It's so relaxing. And then you just switch it back.
And you can switch the fifth finger to A flat to make it quote unquote minor. I would say it's not minor, I feel it's more modal.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of modal.
But which mode? It's in B flat. So Locrian. In Locrian and B flat, we would start on A. If we want to make this scale-wise.
That's true, because it has both the E flat and then the B flat. Especially for that left hand.
Yeah, and we're missing A, which is the 7th scale degree in the right hand, and D, which is the 3rd scale degree in B flat major, and the 4th scale degree, in Locrian. Let's not get into that.
I'm getting a call.
As always, if you find that this is difficult, maintain a steady hand position and practice hands separately, counting out loud first with the left hand, then with the right hand, as we did before. And this will eventually strengthen your hand coordination once you put them together. Thank you for joining Oclef Kinder. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Hopefully the plane didn't pick up. There's a plane flying by.
We gotta see which note it is. B flat. It was like